Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time here, welcome, and I hope you stick around after this. Today we will be chronicling my experience going through Metal Gear Solid Delta on the hardest difficulty European Extreme while trying to get the Foxhound rank at the end of it. This is the hardest challenge to do in this game, in my opinion. For those of you who have never played a Metal Gear Solid game before, European Extreme difficulty is the hardest difficulty in the game, where, if you are caught by any enemy in a normal phase that isn't a boss fight or a mandatory action phase, the game is over. When we get more into the video, you will see examples of this, and I will show you some examples of this in the footage. However, just know that as a base. In order to get the Foxhound rank, there's a couple of requirements that we need to do by the end of the playthrough. Now, this rank can only be acquired on Extreme or European Extreme difficulties. Since we are already playing on European Extreme, we have that requirement checked. Now, let's get into some of the other requirements we must accomplish within this playthrough. We must complete the game in under 5 hours of playtime. That is in-game time and not real-life time. We must continue 0 times, which means if we die, we must exit to the main menu and reload our most recent save. We must trigger 0 alert phases, same thing as if we continue, especially on European Extreme. If we are caught and it triggers an alert phase, it is an instant game over, and we must go back to the title screen and reload our most recent save. We must have 0 humans killed, including bosses. Everyone must be taken care of non-lethally during the entire game. Serious injuries must total in 20 or less. We must lose less than 5 life bars worth of health. Life medicine, which is the equivalent to rations in this game, must not be used throughout the entirety of the game. And finally, no special weapons such as the Easy Gun, Stealth Camo, or Infinity Face Paint are allowed. If you equip any of these, your run is mute. Now, some of you who may have played this on the original version of Snake Eater and tried to get the Foxhound rank might be asking, where is the save limit? In the original version, there was a limit on how many saves you could have. Because Delta has an autosave feature for whenever you enter a new area, that save requirement is gone. You'll see at the end I save a little bit more than the original requirement, but those are manual saves. The game does not track your autosaves as saved. Also, one more thing to note, if you're interested in the story of the game in this video, you won't find it. Because cutscenes do count in the in-game time, we have to skip every single cutscene or codec conversation. So, all those will be skipped in this video. I apologize greatly if you're interested in the story. You could probably find another video on YouTube. Finally, I want to give a huge thank you to Perfect Stealth. His guide on how to get the Foxhound rank in Metal Gear Solid Delta helped me immensely, especially in places where I needed just a little bit of help and my current strategy wasn't working. Please go check out his original video if you want to see how I did it. I will have a link in the description. But with all that said, let's get into the run. At the beginning of my journey, what did I find? Just tons of cutscenes to skip, mainly. That's mainly the initial things that we have to do here. But after landing and climbing up a tree to grab my stuff, it was time to proceed with the Virtuous mission. Now, looking back, I'm going to just keep this part on fast forward as well, because during the Virtuous Mission section of the game, there's not much to show. It's not super difficult, and there's not very many troubles that you will come along during your run. Like, for example, in this area, I only have to pass 2 guards. I just shoot them with the tranq pistol and run by. That's really all it needs to happen in this area. The next area is the bridge. I just shoot a hornet's nest down, causing the 2 guards to run across the bridge and into the next area so that I don't have to worry about them. And then it's the last area where Sokolov is, and that's pretty much the end. Once you find Sokolov, skip all the cutscenes, then come back to the bridge area, the Virtuous mission is done. Now, I am keeping this segment in because we're chronicling my times of failing and success during this run. Coming up, I do end up getting caught because I'm a dumbass, and I forgot that there's a guard that patrols the door. So here it is. This is my first time getting caught during this Foxhound playthrough. Ah, fuck. Shit. Should've waited a second. That was great. As you see there, I go back to the main menu and I'm going to pick my next save. If you click continue, it'll just take you to the most recent autosave, which is literally the area we were just in, and it gets rid of our alert phase that we just caused. So now all I have to do is go through and make sure I don't alert the same enemy, and then we can complete this section. Good. And that pretty much sums things up for the Virtuous mission. There's nothing too hard during this part. Was literally got caught one time. Skip a bunch of cutscenes. We'll see the Ocelot gang and Ocelot himself unconscious on the floor. And then let's check out this riveting gameplay of the final section of the Virtuous mission. Keep pressing pause because wait for the cutscene. Man, I had no idea how I did that section. That was probably the hardest section in the game, and I did it first try. Just kidding, of course. But now we have to skip some cutscenes, and then we're forced into a survival viewer section where we have to heal ourselves and heal our injuries. Now, luckily, story-related injuries don't count towards the series injuries counter during this run, so we don't need to worry about that too much. It's mainly stuff that happens during gameplay. So, coming up, you'll see a couple times I get some serious injuries. I'll explain what those were in that case, but basically all story-related injuries, such as the ones that you're going to see on screen right now, do not count towards the serious injury counter that is tracked for the Foxhound rank on European Extreme or Extreme. Now, quick note, even though this isn't a tutorial video, I'll still give some tips in case you want to use this as a reference to do it for yourself. In the survival viewer sections, this is counted towards game time. The only menu that is not counted towards game time is the pause menu where you can skip cutscenes, change the options, load out of the game, etc. That's the only menu that you do not get charged with game time for. You do every time you enter the survival viewer, which is why I recommend staying out of it as much as possible unless you need to eat food or you need to find a new camo setting that you haven't recently used to use the little hot menu that you can use. Because sometimes it can waste a lot of time doing fixing injuries and such in order to get through that. But now we're coming up to the next part of gameplay, the second mission, where the real game starts, as one would say. So at the start of this area, just kind of like the Virtuous mission, not too much is going on. There aren't any enemies in these first two areas, but once you get to the cutscene where the boss takes your gun away and destroys it, that's where it gets a little bit difficult because we have to deal with enemies without a weapon and we have to sneak by them. If they see us, it is game over, and I will show you how difficult this section is just in a moment. Just because I'm not entirely sure how the autosave feature works with the cutscene, and I don't remember, I haven't checked the game in a minute, I recommend saving right after this cutscene is over, or after you skip the cutscene, because then we can start right back at this spot. Coming up, you'll see that I save, and then we'll go right into the section.
Paramedic.
Okay, good.
Huh? Who was that just now?
Oh, shit. Really? Shit, okay. We're just gonna load. We're just gonna load it. So right there, we weren't exactly caught, but we were going to be caught. The enemy noticed us and was coming to check on us. So basically, if you're below a 90% on the camo index, you will be caught in this section. Right now, I'm going to show how to do this. Basically, you want to use the black camo because it gives you a 95% camo index, but you also need to be in the right spot, as you will see here.
Huh? Who was that just now?
If you're not far enough into the bush, you will still be seen or noticed or whatever, and then you will eventually get caught.
What the hell is this?
HQ. This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
That's all we had to do. This part, I don't know what to do. I can't throw him! You cannot throw him. Shit. Okay. Hold on a sec. I ended up taking a little break and coming back, but notice that when I reloaded that I don't have the caution status anymore, so these two guys will end up nicely for a nice stun grenade. So I'm going to throw a stun grenade at them, and I'm going to run to the bridge as fast as I can. These two guys aren't mainly an issue, because if you get past them fast enough, they won't see you from all the way across the bridge, especially if you have the right camo on. The guy coming up, though, is a little bit of a different story. This guy's gonna see me. I should walk on their ass. Yeah, that's what I thought. So basically, I did the same thing. I ran up, I stun grenade the two guys in the beginning, and then at the end, there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can either throw another stun grenade at him, or just make sure that you go on the right patch of grass. As you can see right here, there's a big patch of grass on the right over there. If you go over there and lay down, the guard will eventually walk by you. Just make sure not to fall off the bridge like I almost did. I'm up. That's one way to do it. Probably not the best way to do it, but I did it, so. Are there people in here? I don't remember.
Huh?
Yes,
Somebody there.
Yes. Just go to the right. Just go to the right. Perfect. Okay. This is the part I'm worried about in an early game. Coming up, we'll have to take out the Ocelot unit. Now, you are required to take out all 10 of these enemies. You must do so non-lethally still, because if you kill them, then you won't get Foxhound rank. You can save here if you want, but you will be getting an autosave once the encounter starts, so I'd rather use that than whatever save point you end up making here. But just remember, once it starts, to equip your weapons, because you actually have to go into the menu and do that now. But also, remember, if you're playing on new style, there is bullet drop on the shrink gun, and you do need to account for that. Now let's see how I try to take out these 10 Ocelot unit members.
Move!
am I doing? Am I fucking stupid? Well, at least I recognize how stupid that idea was. On to the next attempt.
Move!
Fuck! That's okay.
Move!
The brick one's only going to give us cover for a minute. It's not going to give us cover for
Move! What's wrong?
those people. One more. He's over here. Oh my God. He's over here, right? This is a part I was extremely worried about, especially in the early game, because it is a forced combat section, and you need to get through it completely non-lethal. This game will throw you into a lot of forced combat sections, but this is the first one, and it could be a major roadblock for a lot of people. After doing it this way, I can successfully say that I think it's actually extremely easy to do now, especially having done it multiple times, but we'll get there later. Basically, it really involves getting the guy on the roof to fall down next to the four who are trying to bust open the door that you initially spawn into. Basically, if you do it right, all four of them will line up against that brick wall that you saw, and they will just basically line up for you. You can just take a quick shot on every single one of them. The other two will never come and check on them, so that you can just do that every single time. It's very easy to replicate it, as I will show later in this video, but it is extremely easy to replicate. And I think that almost anybody can do it this way. But now let's move on. This next area has a little bit of a swamp that we need to traverse in order to progress. However, there are leeches in this swamp, and leeches count as a serious injury. So, I recommend using bug juice before going through the swamp, which I stupidly did not do in this run. If you use the bug juice, you won't get attached with leeches, as it stops leeches and hornets from attacking you. This area would come back to haunt me in a way that I didn't expect, but that's a little bit of foreshadowing. For now, let's just watch as I go through this area. long as he doesn't come over here. Let me go over here. I'm gonna do something stupid just for... Actually, no. I don't have it yet, technically.
It's locked.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How bad am I? Jesus. Stop using that since my suppressor is getting low. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I used way too many shots in that area, and looking back, I agree. I really did use way too many shots, and that will come to bite me in the ass a little bit later. So in this area, because I used so many shots, I had to go looking for ammo, which I do not recommend doing at all because there are a lot of guards in this area that can spot you pretty easily. I use another shot to take care of this guy right here, and then I try to go into the building because I know there's ammo inside of the building. Like I said again, I do not recommend that whatsoever because there are so many guards in this area that can spot you extremely easily, and especially because coming up next, we have our first major boss fight in the game. And we don't really need that many shots to take care of him, and there's ammo in the arena, so I don't know why I did this in the first place. You're gonna see me? You're not gonna fucking see me. Now we're at the Ocelot boss fight. Now, in regards to this boss, if you get shot once or twice, you should be fine, but you'll see me restarting if I get shot once or twice for the most part, unless I have him on low health. This is because, remember, one of the requirements is we cannot lose more than 5 health bars worth of health, so I'm trying to make sure that I can lose less health at the beginning of the game so that later on during the motorcycle chase section I can lose as much health as I want for the most part. There's still a limit, of course, but I have more health allotted to me at that time. Also, take your suppressors off during boss fights if you're using the MK22 because its suppressors are extremely important. Foreshadowing, I've mentioned it 7 times already, and we will get to that part later, like I've said. But this boss fight isn't super hard. Just move around the arena and make sure you hit good shots, and you're not wasting too much ammo or taking too many hits. Like I said again, if you take too many hits, just reload the save. But because the boss fights aren't too bad in this game, and just making sure you don't lose too much health, I'm just going to cut to where I beat each boss after I kind of explain some of the strategies for him. This boss is pretty simple, like I said. Just move around the arena, make sure not to get shot too many times. Use the Hornet's Nest that is on his side to your advantage to get a free shot in. Also, when he is doing his reload cutscenes, you can also skip them. I don't know if that is a bug or not, but you can skip them and get a free shot off that way. But with that in mind, let's just cut to where I actually beat Ocelot. Hopefully that's fine. So now we beat Ocelot, and then we fall down a cave. And we're in a very dark cave, as you can see. I did not grab the thermal goggles this run, so I couldn't really see where I was going. So what did I do? I decided to up my brightness and cheese the whole area. Ah, much better. Now, this cave doesn't really have anything too crazy. There's some animals you can kill for some food, there's a bunch of ammo, you can get a torch too, really, but there's nothing too crazy. It's basically just a buffer zone before our next boss fight, the Pain. Now, the Pain, mind the pun, is a royal pain in the ass, especially if you don't know how to beat him fast. But we're gonna cheese the absolute living fuck out of him because I don't give a shit. Basically, from time to time during this boss fight, he'll have all his hornets make him armor, which basically make him bulletproof. You need to get the hornets off of him or wait for him to do a specific attack in order to damage him. Now, there's another way to do this, and that's by throwing smoke grenades at him. The smoke grenades will dissipate the hornets that are on him, leaving you time to get some shots in. Now, because I had the Grenadier camo from a previous playthrough, I decided to use that. Now, I'm going to cut a lot out. Not only did I have to reload this fight 7 or 8 times because I kept messing up, or he kept not getting hit by my shots, I also died 2 times, making this boss take even fucking longer than it should have. And because this boss did not respect my time, I'm not going to give him the light of day to show how fucking terrible this boss really is, especially if you're trying to do it legit. But coming up, we're going to show how to cheese the fuck out of this guy so that you never have to fight this guy legit because he is a terrible boss fight. And the second worst boss in the game. Yes, there is one worse in my opinion. I don't think he did it first because I killed immediately. I actually like it better when he does that attack, because then I'm already in the water, and then all I need to do is just die. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Now that asshole is dead, we can move on. Not much happens in this next part of the cave. However, one section in the cave, there's going to be a couple poison dart frogs that we'll want to pick up. We can pick one up later, but keep in mind this would be for a future boss fight that we're going to take on. And it really makes him quite easy. A couple times. Okay, here's my question. Does shooting these guys and putting them to sleep, does that count as killing them when they crash? I want to find this out. I want to find this out.
Attacked. Enemy position unknown.
I'll just, you know, I'm just gonna wait until he gets closer. hit him, did it not? Does that count as a kill? No, it doesn't. Cool.
We're under fire. Enemy position unknown. Commencing alert status.
Acknowledged. Keep your eyes open.
What's the thing for serious injuries again? I have one. I don't remember what the one was. 20 or fewer. Okay, that's... I can deal with that. I can deal with 20 or fewer. I'm less scared now that we can actually shoot these guys. These guys are safe.
Not too bad.
I should have eaten one of the ones I killed. Now, you remember when I said before that suppressors are very important in this? Well, we get to this area, and this area will show you exactly why we need a suppressor on our MK22.
What the? Huh?
Thump.
Huh? Who's there?
I might have. It's very possible I did.
What the? Huh? Who's there?
Okay, I just can't shoot at all. You see, here's the problem. In this section, if you shoot a single time without a suppressed weapon, you will be spotted. So, anytime I shoot, it will cause an alert phase, causing a mission failed. This is a problem because I had no clue where the suppressor would be. I didn't even know if there was one where you can get the SVD in the other area close to this. So I had to try and get a little bit creative, because if I wanted to go back to a previous save at this point, I would have to go all the way back to the Ocelot unit fight, because that was my last manual save. I can't go back to any previous autosaves, I can only go back to a previous manual save. So let's see what I decided to do. I decided to go underwater to see if I could find a suppressor there. I did find a suppressor, but not for the MK22, but for the M1911. We can't use that gun because that gun can kill people, so we're not going to use it. Instead, I tried to get a little bit creative and do this.
I must be seeing things.
Oops. And well, it didn't really work out so well. At this point, I just had to accept my fate. I needed to go back and I needed to waste less shots with my suppressor in a previous area. So, what did I do? I decided to take a break. I would come back later and I would start back at my manual save at the Ocelot unit encounter. Once I was back, I fought the Ocelot unit, Ocelot himself, this asshole again, decided to become a fish in this section, and finally we were back where we needed to be, with a suppressor this time. Once you have a suppressor, it is simplistically easy. Now we'll make our way through the warehouse and back outside into the jungle. This is the next part that I was most worried about during the early game in this playthrough, was getting through the lab. You see, once you get to the lab, you have to wear a scientist disguise in order to fit in, otherwise you're going to be caught instantly. While wearing the scientist disguise, you cannot use any weapons at all. The only thing you get is the cigarette spray that you can find inside the lab. Now, the cigarette spray has been effectively nerfed in this game to where you need to be absolutely point blank to them in order to use it, in order for it to take effect, so it fucking sucks now. Which is why I was most worried about it, because in my first playthrough, I got caught so many times while trying to use the cigarette spray on fellow scientists, or even the enemies on itself. So it was going to be a little bit difficult, but let's see how I managed to get through it. Okay. Getting out of there is going to be the hard part.
You passed through.
Or it won't be bad at all. Never mind. Well, that was actually really easy. Just gotta make sure that you catch the doctors at the right pattern, and that way they won't spot you and call you out. From there, it's just getting out of these walls to the outside, and then we're gonna be on to our next boss fight, the Fear. This guy isn't too hard, and he's way easier than the Pain was, for sure. However, I have a fair word of warning for all you MGS3 vets out there. You cannot cheese this fight like you used to be able to in the original version. You see, in the original version, there was a cheese where you could use the fake death pill, and when he wasn't looking after he inspected your dead body, you throw a stun grenade, shoot him with any weapon you want, even a damage weapon, and you will get the non-lethal kill instantly from that method. That method has been patched, and you cannot do that in Delta. However, I am doing the poison dart frog method, where when he goes looking for food, if you throw the poison dart frogs onto the ground, he will pick that up, which will poison him, effectively leaving him without his camo, running around looking for food, and you can get some quick shots in while he's looking for food. Also, again, because when he shoots you with the arrow, is a story-based injury, so it will not be counted in your serious injury thing, here is how I beat the Fear. Only that bug was still in here. I could just the non-lethal bug. Now that we would defeat the fear, we after defeating the fear, we would come across another problem. You see, once you defeat the fear, all the ammo drops in this area go away for some reason. And look how much ammo I have to handle the warehouse. Yep, only one bullet to take out 4 enemies. At least I have a suppressor this time, but one bullet is not going to last us very long. Now, how did I get through this? I didn't. I couldn't. I tried for probably 20, 30 minutes doing this one part and I couldn't do it. I just could not get past the warehouse area with only one bullet. There's also no MK22 ammo drops in that room either, or at least that I could find. So, what did I end up doing? Reloaded my last manual save. However, at least this time I saved after the Ocelot unit encounter and the pain fight. So now all I needed to do was go back through the lab and fight the fear again, which is easier than the other two things I had to do before, which were the Ocelot encounter, like I said, and the pain fight. So we snuck through the lab again, kicked the fear's ass again, and got to the warehouse portion with 6 shots. This was more than enough than the amount of enemies I needed to go through, considering the jungle section next after that had some MK22 ammo, and I had a full suppressor already. So after making our way through the warehouse and the jungle section, right after the warehouse, we then would come to the end boss fight. I've never fought this boss non-lethally before, so this was a fun new experience for me, and I will show most of it in its entirety, although most of it involves me just running his ass down.
Freeze! How did you? I don't think so. I don't think so. Fine. Have this.
A fun little trick with this now, since it's in Delta, is that every time he moves to a new area, there's an autosave for that new area. So if you fuck up in one section of the fight, you can just reload the save when you enter the new area. So makes this fight even easier than it was in the original, or at least so I heard. Never actually fought him before.
Freeze! Fight like a man. The boss taught you well.
I'm gonna need to go back to that shed at some point and get some more ammo, but I'm gonna be that fucking close to him, I might as well. I know that probably isn't the most fun way to fight him, but I thought it was pretty fun, honestly. Just chasing an old man around the woods and spraying him with gas until he dies. From there, I was able to pick up his gun, the Mosin Nagant, which is the only sniper that has non-lethal rounds, which we would use a little bit in the next boss fight, but we wouldn't really use too much throughout the rest of the game. There it is. Mosin Nagant. I have his camo already. Once we picked up the gun, I think you all know what's next, so I'll just let it play out in its entirety. I'm gonna shut up to this part.
With darkness and silence through the night, what a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Coming up to the mountain section. Now, before I started this playthrough, I was let know by a good friend of mine named Dot that this would be the hardest section in the game. And I agree, it looked like it was going to be very hard. However, what he did not know is that in Metal Gear Solid Delta, there's a new camouflage called the Animal Camouflage. This camouflage gives you 90% in this entire section. It is better than every other desert-based camo in the game for some reason. So, I just used that, and I beat this section first try. Also, Dot, thank you for the advice. You wanted a shout out, here's your shout out. Now, I debated showing this entire section off, but since it's just me sneaking around for 8 minutes straight, I just decided to speed it up. So now, you'll see me sneaking around for only 3 minutes and not 8 minutes. Once we see Groznygrad, we need to run back through the door, unfortunately, because the door we actually need to go through is back in the area with the helicopter. Luckily, the helicopter's gone now, and it's just replaced with a bunch of people with flamethrowers, which we'll see right here are pretty easy to get through. It's not too hard to get through this next section either. You gotta be careful again, getting to the other door. Did I mention I'm an expert at this game? I believe I did already. But that brings us to the worst boss fight by far in this game. The Fury. This guy is worse than the Pain. He is worse than every other boss in the game. And he's just a terrible fucking time. He is supposed to be easier with the Mosin Nagant. However, I found it easier just to pump his ass full of tranquilizers from my MK22 and get a Mosin shot in when I could. And also, I cannot find whether or not the tips in the game actually help, because they say that we need to hit him from the back where his jetpack is. However, every time I do that, I deal barely any damage compared to when I shoot him in his fucking chest with the tranquilizer gun. It ends up doing more damage. Here's how we beat the Fury. Sometimes I can get him in the combo, and I can't really understand it.
Where'd you go? Feel the burning rage. I want some more. Feel
that wasn't too bad. I say this, yeah, I cut out the 5 or 6 times I had to restart because I died to him. So, but you're not going to see that. Now that we're in Groznygrad, all we have to do is sneak to the one area, get Rykov's uniform, and then we can meet up with Sokolov. Now, some people may think the way I do this is wrong. I don't care. It worked.
What's wrong?
That might have been the wrong way to do this. I don't remember if I need to go through that other door on the other side. Nope, okay, that's fine. After that, we have to skip some more cutscenes, and then we're in a spot where we literally just sit here for 2 minutes, getting tortured by Vulcan, and then after that, we have the escape sequence. Now, the escape sequence was something I had no fucking clue how I was going to do without a guide, which is where Perfect Stealth's guide came in. He did help me with parts before this in this video. However, at this point, this is where I really needed help. And I'll explain it to the best of my ability of what his guide says, because in my opinion, it is one of the only ways to do this part, especially on European Extreme. So first, grab the fork, pull out the bullet and the transmitter. Get the bat. Once the guard drops the food, go into the model viewer and spin Snake a bunch. I don't know how many times you need to spin him, just spin him enough. Then exit the survival viewer. This will make Snake throw up. It's not like I'm pressed for time or anything.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Once Snake throws up, grab the food and then hug this gate right now. Because as soon as he opens it and gets close to us, we're gonna knock him out. Oh, damn it.
Bastard!
Whoops.
What's wrong? Are you okay? Oh, jeez. Did you throw up?
There you go, just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pick him up 2 times. The first time will give us some smoke grenades. The next time we pick him up, he's going to drop some ramen noodles for us. We want these as well. Now, do not eat the ramen noodles or the bat that was given to you for the food, because we need these for the next section. If you're going to get some food for your stamina, pull out the fork and just stab the rat like I just did there. Now, watch what I do closely. once we get to the outside part. Throw both pieces of food exactly how I do it in the footage.
What's that sound?
What was that noise?
There we go. In the next area, I will show another thing that Perfect Stealth mentions in his guide. Just stay near the wall and just run across. In this area, we're going to play some Counter-Strike. We're going to be practicing throwing smoke grenades. Now, go to where I go in this spotlight and throw 3 smokes exactly the way I do to get through this area. Okay. That wasn't so bad. I got it. Now that we're in the sewer, we just proceed as normal. We'll follow the sewer through until we reach the cutscene trigger. After skipping the cutscene, we have the Sorrow fight. Now, don't have to fight him. You can just drown yourself right at the beginning if you don't want to. I knew that. I did not fight him in my previous playthrough, so I wanted his camo. I was also had plenty of time left in my playthrough, which is why I did this. But it's also a good way to see if you actually killed anybody during the game, because your enemies that you have killed will show up during this boss fight, or quote-unquote boss fight, I should say. The only enemies you should see are previous bosses that you have encountered, such as the Pain, the Fear, and the End. And the Fury. Those are the only ones that you should see during this. If you only see those 4 people, then you are fine. But because nothing really happens, it's just me walking down a river and dodging some ghosts, I'm going to skip through this part and get to the next section. So we met up with Eva and get him out of the sewers. This is where this part was going to be a little bit tricky. I ended up failing this section quite a few times because right to the left of this tank are 4 enemies and 2 dogs, and they will instantly see you if you walk out or even shoot anybody near them. So, this part was going to be a little tricky, and I failed quite a lot. Who saw me?
Something there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
HQ, respond.
This is HQ. What's going on? Respond. There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Now, honestly, at this point, what I should have done was just reloaded the previous autosave, since it will get rid of the caution status. But I didn't, so I ended up getting caught yet again, and then learned that reloading the autosave again gets rid of the caution status. I should have done this from the bridge part at the beginning of the game. shit.
On the dump.
Getting text messages. I'm a popular guy. Apparently.
I think I saw something.
Move. On the dump.
Once you're back in the lab at the East Wing, you literally just put your Rykov uniform back on, and you'll be completely fine through this section to get through the Shadow. But I also did not do that. I also decided to go through this normally. And after this guy somehow saw me, I managed to plant all of the C4 on the fuel tanks for the Shagohod. This would then lead into the Vulcan boss fight. Of course, after taking another break. Now, the Vulcan fight isn't too hard. Just make sure you don't have your gun out on him at first, because if you have your gun out, his lightning attacks will come straight to you since you have a metal thing out. But if you just CQC him for the most part and do what I do, it's actually really fun and easy boss fight.
See your shot, this one. Here it comes. Let's see your shot, this one.
Now we come to the part that I was most dreading throughout this entire run, because this part can be an absolute pain in the ass and totally drain your health faster than anything else. And this is the motorcycle escape sequence. This is one of the final forced combat sections of the game, luckily. So basically what we have to do is we have to make sure we don't get hit too much, and we can take care of all the enemies non-lethally. If you have the deluxe edition of the game and you have the sneaking suit, which makes you basically invisible throughout the entire thing, use it. Or, if you didn't pay Konami an absurd amount of money for this game, then use what I'm using in this video. I ended up using the Cold War uniform that you get from beating Vulcan non-lethally. It helps a lot, especially when you're facing an enemy, they will not shoot you. However, if you have your back turned to them, they will shoot you. So, you have to make sure that you're looking at the enemy the entire time throughout this. Otherwise, you will get shot to hell and have to redo this part several times. This is the first point where they require you to shoot enemies while on the bike. I sat here for a couple seconds waiting for Eva to go, but she won't go until you take out all the enemies. So just use your pistol or your Mosin Nagant. Have both of those equipped for this part. As you see, I'm just sitting here having no fucking clue what's going on. And then eventually I realize, oh shit, I'm supposed to shoot these enemies. And there's a couple sections like that. Some sections are way harder than others, as you'll see coming up. But for most sections of this, you can basically just look at the enemies and get through them just fine.
Good one.
Yeah, maybe make sure you're watching the RPG guy so that way he doesn't kill you in one hit. That'd probably be good to know. But after getting to the runway and shooting a whole armory's worth of RPGs at the Shagohod, it would be time to destroy this thing and kill Vulcan once and for all.
4 C3 charges. Down. 3 more bombs left. Right. 2 more left. A little more to the left. It's not here yet. Only 1 more left. The Shagohod's not here yet. Let it come closer. It's still too early. It's here!
I bet a lot of vets of this game are pissed that if you fail that sequence, the autosave will just bring you right back to it, and you don't have to go back to a save at the beginning of it. I bet that must have been fucking terrible. But honestly, we get to the Shagohod, and I think it's one of the easiest bosses in the game. All you gotta do is just shoot both of its treads, wait till Eva goes to the back of it, and then shoot an RPG in its back. I'm not really gonna show the whole fight because it's kind of boring, and it takes a minute, especially if Eva's not driving the way that she needs to. You can't control how she's driving. So, but I will skip a little bit ahead to the next boss fight. Now we're on foot, fighting the Shagohod and Vulcan, while Eva distracts him. Same principle, all we gotta do is just RPG the treads and then shoot Vulcan where his shield isn't being held up. It's not too difficult, it's actually pretty easy, but just be careful if you're low on health, because remember, we cannot use life med, and the only way that we can heal ourselves is if we just let it heal naturally from our stamina meter. I was a little tense since I was so low on health for this boss fight, but in the end, I was able to pull through and finally kill Vulcan.
Catch me if you can! Here, use this!
Damn it!
Oh, but we're not done yet. We got more motorcycle escape sequence. This part is a little bit more difficult than the last in some parts. This part's not too bad. You just look back for the most part, and then they can't even hit you. So it's not horrible. I got through it pretty much first try on this part. However, later on, this area would be a major pain in my ass, considering I can't hit them accurately with the MK22 in this area because of the bullet drop, because of my bad aim, you name it. I can't hit anybody in this area, so I died. After barely getting through the end of this, we finally got through the escape sequence.
What do you think of that?
This will lead us to the final sneaking section before the boss fight at the end. We have to escort Eva through this section without getting caught because she's injured. So we have to go through, knock everybody out, and lead her through. Now, in some cases, that is easier said than done, as you will see right here.
What's wrong? I saw what's wrong.
Oh, yeah, and there was one other obstacle I needed to contend with. You see, this game is made on UE5, so it can be unoptimized in some places. Especially when the game just decides to fucking crash when there's one enemy left in this area. We love Unreal Engine 5, don't we, folks? But after forcing the game closed in Task Manager and waiting 15 minutes for the game to catch shaders, yes, I'm not kidding, we finally got through it and got to the final boss fight. The fight against the boss is pretty straightforward. Just counter her CQC and pump her throw tranquilizers when you get the chance. Make sure you want to counter her CQC as many times as you want, so if she comes after you, let her come to you. It's very easy. All you gotta do is just press R2 at the right time. It's a glorified QuickTime event, more so than it was in the original, unfortunately. This is the only boss I feel like they made worse from the original, but with that said, we'll just get into the boss fight.
I come. Excellent, Jim. Get ready. You're better than I remember. Here I come. Here I come. See what you're made of. I come. Excellent, Jim. Get ready! You're better than I remember. You've gotten stronger. Get ready! Here I come! Your skills have improved.
Now, a quick note, don't think your game's bugged during this cutscene. This is the only cutscene you can't skip in the game. It's somewhat interactive, and you actually have to pull the trigger on her. So, we'll just pull the trigger on the boss. Finally, after shooting Ocelot with a blank, we would claim our Foxhound title. Don't let the playtime fool you, folks. I was doing this shit for 12 hours plus. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot of time considering some of the other games, MGS 2, but I may think about doing that one in the future since I've just gotten the Master Collection, and I'm on kind of a Metal Gear kick right now. That being said, if you like this video and want to see more challenge videos like this, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what other games you want to see in the future, possibly some more Metal Gear, who knows. But if you made it this far, I probably kept you waiting, to end the video. I'll just end the video, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching.